Murphysboro City Council, I ask you to all rise. Okay.
We're thankful for the opportunity to gather together to discuss the business of our community. There should be many discussions. Although we may not with one another, might we move forward with a consensus of what needs to be done. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Alderman Curley-Whitson. Alderman Runge. Here. Alderman Austin. Alderman Pittman.
Here.
Alderman Urbis. Alderman McComb.
Here.
Alderman Ritchie. Alderman Glad.
Here.
Mayor Stevens.
All right, well, we'll get into our agenda items this evening. First, we have the consideration of public hearing and regular session minutes from December 19th, 2023. And I entertain any questions, amendments to the minutes at this time. Is there a motion to approve this proceeding? Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Attention to our regular committee and commission reports, and budget, finance,
Mayor, with no items on old business and new business, first time consideration fails in 5 to the budget.
hold on just a second, Jay. What's your question, Mr. Austin?
No, we did the public hearing, we used the regular meeting.
Well, I thought, Gina had to record.
I recorded it again.
Okay.
Consideration fails in 5 to the art project, Harold.
Reducing the amount of retained down from 10% to 5% on that project, so drops the retained down to $27,030.04. And it's the amount of the $27,030.05 is the amount of the estimate.
Do you have any questions or entertain a motion to approve pay estimate for 5?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is consideration of account payable and account receivable and payroll registers. Anybody have any questions on this?
I do have, one, and it's actually working, on the 705, we are open to stuff for you guys, can you tell me on page 4 and page 7, are these like just replenishment of supplies at the end of the year, or do you have something big?
No, that's what I'm doing, we're restocking.
Yeah, that's why I went ahead, it was replenishment or restocking, and it's that same one, and it's still on line. I can't hold on, but I'm where is it? Okay. I know that at the end of the year, you're probably down inventory coming out of your plant, on the start. I just did you start out with you know,
Yes.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
kind of year-end. If you go to page 3, it's not really numbered, but it's the third page. And with 2 small funds, bringing the total. And we budgeted 92, so we were 101,000 under budget. And police department, this is probably not a category that the chief necessarily enjoys. We have less people on payroll than what we had budgeted in that department, and there's savings right there. So, all things being equal, I'm sure we would have people. But and then and of course the thing here is one of the in the top 3 for sure. So we spent $449,221 in the general fund compared to $563 for budget, and we spent $107 in water sewer compared to $115 in budget. So work that out just a little for the year. So and experience the same level of HRA utilization as we had previous years. So we had a pretty good year in that respect. And we historically run about so anytime we are below then we save some money on all these deductibles and co-pays. So that's a pretty good year, and thankfully that we didn't have to accept the 50% increase that we were looking at for this year, so we have worked around that. So hopefully we'll be in decent shape this time next year when we do the same report. So, any questions?
No, I'm just very thankful that we continue to have budgets that are close to balance, and folks that have good guidance for us throughout the year. Scott in particular, I appreciate everything you do to keep us on track.
Thank you.
Any more questions, Scott? All right, thanks, Scott. The last item for new business, during public comment under budget finance. Here now, we can move out of budget finance.
All right, that takes us to building and grounds, Chairperson Mike Austin. All right.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no under old business, we have consideration of estimates to replace the gate at the road station, and I'll toss that over to Mr. Gladson for explanation.
The new Mack truck, and we are unable to pull it in, so this station to service it and clean it out on the top, so this is a wire gate, so we can go back again to the two Macks.
Okay, that comes to $2,816. We have a motion to approve. We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have no new business. And if we have any public comment, I do. Yes.
I was gonna just get this stuff on the next agenda. I'm not sure if any of you are aware of what the Catholic cemetery is doing, or expanding the cemetery. Keller Catholic approached me today about, we got maybe a half an acre at best of our cemetery, plus up with their roof up all the way across. He was wanting to know if we would maybe hire a time to go ahead and finish clearing ours. they're gonna do all the dirt work, so he said that they bring the dirt in on our side and flatten everything out, work with the drainage, if we were willing to go ahead and have him remove the trees while he's there. It was just an FYI, I was gonna ask him to put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Just wanted everybody to be aware of what's going on. Yeah, no,
Want to do it before that?
Huh?
They would want to do it before that?
Ryan's still just working on this right now. He's only working on it 10 or 15 hours a week because he's doing other jobs.
Yeah, it's over.
I just wanted everybody to be aware, if you got a chance to run to the cemetery, you can kind of see where he's going and maybe get an idea where he stopped and where they started.
Aaron, help me understand, I don't fully understand what he's doing for them, just trying to get the water drained.
No, they only got 6 plots out of the cemetery, and they've been trying to buy property, and I guess Kelly got the searching around, we found out they own almost 7 acres that looks to the south of the cemetery. So he's gonna clear it out, they're gonna do all the leveling on it.
I see.
Put roads in and then expand their city. Which in turn, we could probably, maybe utilize another quarter acre of Tiger Cemetery for graves as well, if we was to go through something.
Okay, I see what you mean, just while Ross is doing that work, do some work.
Well, it's Ted, I said that, Ryan's Ted. And I was gonna talk to Ryan and see if he could just ballpark me, an amount what he thought it would cost for his part of the work. But I just wanted everybody to aware of it, have a chance to look at it. Okay, so it's on the agenda for the next time. We could go ahead and get it on there. Appreciate it. Sure.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Patrick. Are there any other public comments regarding building and grounds? Hearing none, there we can move on to building and grounds.
All right, that takes to community relations, I'm sure Mr. Curry Woodson, not here this evening, but we have no old business, and we don't have any new business under community relations. We have any public comment? Community relations. That will public improvement chair by Mr. Don.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under public improvement, we have no old business, there's no new business. Is there any public comments? Back to you, sir.
Thank you. That takes us to public works, chair by Mr. Gary Coleman. Gary?
There's still holes in the sidewalk. Who should they sue if a blind person hung up there? I mean, they took them out in the middle of the sidewalk. And there was no what or get out in the easement to go around. I don't know, my part was like I told you last time, shutting them off. So we get something, just stop and give them the permits to do. Put out together. I mean, you can't go up properly. I'm sure some of them speak English, but they just shake their heads down and they don't. I don't know what it is when we shut them down. They straighten out for maybe a week, then they're right back, all the stuff in the middle of the sidewalk and over in. And when they put the concrete in there, right, but they're not doing it. I know that's a lot of them. Concrete back in and not sack there. Mm-hmm. But I know they tore the house there. There was one in that driveway now. The last time I seen it, it was just smashed. Because it wouldn't make for all the traffic to go over. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to have to. I was already not too long. Yeah, they should have been. I don't know.
I'd like to ask Richard Blake, and he and I talked before the meeting, but Richard, what have any obligation to allow them to continue in the way that they've been going?
The city entered into an agreement with, it goes back to 2010. It was for a limited route that they would be able to allow their installer fiber optic. It went from Route 18, from past the health department, through the city, down Walnut Street. It went up 149 past the hospital, then North 11th Street, by this building, around 14th Street up, and around Kroger School into the high school. With multiple institutions that it's going to connect with fiber optic. And I don't know, has that all been done, Brian? I guess, has that part been done, or?
Clearwave's infrastructure is in place, but it's not utilized in all these buildings.
Okay, so the agreement only addresses that. If we were to agreement, but in their being allowed to go in other areas, there's not a written right-of-way agreement saying they get to go into these certain areas. It's all been done by the permitting process that was set up about a year ago, that Charlie maintained with them. Yeah. The initial agreement from back in 2010 had a provision that it could to change those routes or add those routes. I know we checked a year ago, we didn't find anything showing that it had ever been done. So, to use city's right-of-ways. Just as a matter of basic law, if the city's going to allow, we can't then to go to others and allow one to use it and go to others and say, no, you can't, but, here we doing it in accordance with the permitting process, I do not see that they do have a continued right. Of course, they may assert they do. We say you're cut off right now, and we're not going to allow you back, period. We may see something back from them, asserting some type of right. But as of now, there's not an ongoing agreement to be in the various parts of the city other than that basic route by the agreement in 2010.
Charlie, kind of tell me where you stand with them and Tim and Darren. I mean, I'm inclined to just not issue any more permits to them and just be done.
I sent them the Nastygram, I guess, prior to Christmas. Chief McBride went through, he found some, I found some as well, made a list, a complete list. I went through the last 2 days. Haven't made it to all of them yet, but I had 44 total boxes that were needed addressed. Yesterday, I found that they fixed that are good. So that I didn't rebar all the sidewalks. They were great. I found 4 more new ones today. There's 7 of them that are in the process, so they're getting ready to pour. I imagine the weather. So I've been in contact with Nathan Colombo. I think he was one of the ones that was here before. He's been fantastic with it. He's actually the construction crew that they have now to fix everything. Good work, and he knows that they're not going to do any more boring or any more work until this list is complete. So they're on a holding pattern as far as any more boring utilities. They are doing work from the house to basically tied in.
Sure.
I haven't had any complaints since beginning before Christmas. The work they've had.
Chief McBride, I know you said before the meeting that they paid the bills that were owed to you.
Yep. A week ago? Yeah, about a week ago.
And what were those bills related to, just as a reminder?
I'm gonna stand by until I get the gas shut off.
And for what it's worth, Nathan had told me it takes and kind of a nasty gram might be sent in to get it to the right people to make their operations change.
Which is kind of what they told us that time.
And it sounds like Charlie's on top of it, though.
No, I think so. I just, every time that they continue, they just continue to not do things like in a way that it ought to be done. And it seems like to me that we can either just accept that they're gonna do shoddy work and expose us to liability through leaving these sidewalks open, or we're gonna have to demand that they contract with, a concrete company of some kind who's gonna come back and, fix those the day of, or something that's being done. But it's just,
Part of that, Mayor, I'll take a little bit of the blame for when we first came up with that infrastructure permit. I didn't have a map per se set up for them, and so they were bouncing all over the town, and it was a nightmare trying to keep up with. They might be the west blocks to the east the next day, so I switched it up to the east ward, so that was the easiest way to do it, and to issue a permit to them or to any other frontier that's going to be doing some as well. Work has to be done per permit, per ward, so I can keep better track of it.
Well, didn't that new then have like a amount of feet limit that they were allowed to do at a certain time instead of, so like, we have all to be done within one ward?
They have no doubt in phases. And then I think they gave 3,000 feet, they can all locate it on. They could have all 3,000 until that was finished. Supposedly, the sidewalk was repaired, the grass was planted, it's strong, and they moved on to the next section. That's not exactly what was going on. My side of it is, I've said before that I don't understand how smaller towns like DeSoto don't have the resources to keep up with those crews. And maybe it's time to go on with those other cities, but it's almost a full-time job to keep up with the locals when they're in town. Because they're not calling in like repair a water line here in front of his house. It takes my guy maybe 15 minutes to do that. It's 3,000 feet of every water and sewer line that you can possibly locate. Some lines in town, PVC that were put in the late 70s, early 80s, they don't have tracer wire on them, so it's a guess. So that's the ones that they hit. So they hit them. If our marks are off, we don't know they're off. So there's no really liability on them. They know that. So they're a little reckless in the forest. Not to mention, I don't think it's a bad idea to go out and pick some random residences on some of these routes that have been done and sort of audit those sites, because they're having to honor what our original agreement was, which was a certain amount of feet below water surface, a certain amount of feet below water main or sewer main. So I'm not so sure that that's really, they're variant, they're gone. We dig it up 2 years from now. Who's going to be liable at that time? We're not going to recklessly dig a water line to make a repair knowing that there's fiber there. But if the agreement said that fiber is supposed to be 4 feet below a water main, we're not expecting to even see it to do our job.
Right.
And say we get into it at 3 feet, we all know fiber is supposed to be expensive to repair. So who's going to be liable for that if it wasn't put in? As a
right there.
Right.
I'm concerned Charles not to give them any more than this. I know we had this conversation at the council level, and, essentially that was good done anyway. Just, catch up with what they've got standing on me. But, if it was me and he alone making those decisions, I just say clearly, fiber in 15% of the community, do not feel like entity, and so go away.
There is a long-term benefit to the community. Give the options for internet aside from the frontier. It opens the market, I don't like the way they do things, but 4 years from now, we're going to be glad there's fiber all over Murphysboro. Process, and we'll have whatever the new technology is that time, leaving holes in our sidewalks,
Well, they don't have to stay with this one. You know, if they were working for the city, we keep them, and we do regular contract. You know what I mean? That's all. As a general, to see the sub's doing something right, and they're not doing that either.
Well, do we at least want to continue the new permits until such time as we can bring Clearway back into the principal's office?
I'm going to try to answer that.
I think until they get this list that I've compiled and Chief McBride, until that's started, then we can start fresh with it if we want to.
Is there?
I want to know if also, I don't know, they're pulling multiple lines when they do that. I don't know if they're usable by other companies. You know, I don't know if they're, you know, they're pulling that conduit through and it's multiple lines, it's 3 or 4 lines coming through. So I don't know if they're blank lines where other companies might not have to bore. I'm not sure.
Clearway is going to keep that exclusively for themselves.
Yeah, they have like multiple loops that keep them going, and redundancy, you know.
And I'm sure they'll probably farm that out to themselves or to somebody else's initiative, you know. Get full lines through that already ran line and pay for it, you know. It might not be bad.
Ones that, I think we did vote for a couple that they hit, but most of the ones they hit are, like I said, unlocatable lines. But it would seem to me like, I'm not quite sure, we haven't been able to answer this. Do they benefit from the ARPA money? Is that part of this infrastructure? Because it seems like we're in a race to get.
Oh, they may be COVID money. So,
It seems like they're.
It's given, you know, to,
Because they all work slow.
I mean, is there something we could do to limit that permit even more? You know, to limit the amount of work that they're doing, not just, you know, locates alone, but also on the amount of places that they're allowed to dig within a certain permit?
Yeah, I think that's, with breaking it down to the ward, one, makes it easier for me to know exactly where they're at, but like Tim said, when their locates come in, there'll be 8 to 10 of them, and it's like, and they're all like, wherever we can get it done, and so like, you see me maybe on Street at 10 o'clock, and I come back after lunch, and, you know, they're over on Murphy Street or something, and it was just my chance to find them, so.
But I think, WJ, are you saying that, you know, if we're allowing 3,000 linear feet, now make it 1,500?
Well, that's on the locates, you know. I don't think that's a bad idea, but I mean, if they're only allowed to, you know, I mean, maybe, you know, if we did it per a certain amount of boring locations, you know, per permit also, so that, you know, 10,000 feet, if they're only allowed to go into the ground in different places within that permit, 4 different places within that permit, then we at least know exactly where they're at, and we can go check on it every day if we want to, you know, at the end of the day and see what they've got done. And if they don't got done what we think they should, we can meet them out there the next morning when they're getting to work and say, hey, you're not doing anything else until you do this.
What's your take on that, Charlie?
I agree. I mean, like I said, I've got 2 contacts now, so it's so much easier. I've got Nathan, who's been on top of things, as far as the company doing the boring. There's Lincoln, who has the construction company portion of it, who's doing the concrete work. And for everything that Darren and I checked on, the concrete has been fantastic. So we just need to check some balances by the time they open the sidewalk and fix it. And I don't know if you've seen them, but they're taking them off. They're taping them now. I sent pictures of them, what they did in Carbondale. Carbondale, they're setting T-posts around and snow fence around it. You know, and here they were just leaving them open. So I think they're making improvements. I think they were kind of getting the fair warning that this is their last shot. So
It seems like they do the minimum depending on which communities provide what.
All right, well, Gary, what do you want to do?
Well, I like shutting down the room, but, you know, if we can hold them and maybe look in the. How long does it take?
It varies depending on the utilities that are in the weather. There's also gas that they're working around. They do quite a few gas sources.
You know, I mean, if you can hold them down the block or two at one time and they go by to fix all the sidewalks and stuff.
Especially the city block, I think.
Yeah.
And there's some that they get it done, and it's dug, boxes set, grass seeded and strawed and set in place, and it's done. Like, I've seen them do, 4 or 5 city blocks in a matter of a day or two, and it looks fantastic, and then you get like Spruce Street where they've left.
Well, it's a sidewalk issue for me, it's a big problem, because people, nothing to do with Clearway or everybody else, communities have been sued just for not keeping their sidewalks up.
Right.
Somebody tripping and falling on them and getting held liable. I mean, it's not like, we're trying to create some fantasy island kind of like scenario here.
We see that a lot.
Why are they using the center of the sidewalk in places that are stuck in the,
There's not a lot of space between, the right of way between there and people's yards, so
Well,
sidewalks.
a lot of times that's where the gas line's already at, or the.
Like Scott ran into with his place, like, the right of way for the state highway there, they had to go on the other side of the sidewalk.
if they're around their boxes and do everything right back again?
I don't want us to just, be forced completely to death. I think we ought to have them come back in and have this conversation that regularly and hold off on the permits until we have that house.
Well, we entertain a motion not to issue any more permits until we have a meeting with them.
All right.
So,
Second? All in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. And the next
Yes, this is the resolution for the appropriation for the motor fuel taxes, I think we'll do the northeast quadrant this year for $90,000. And again, doesn't mean you're spending $90,000, it's just appropriating that much money out of MFD funds.
Motion to adopt it.
all in favor? Aye. Nays? The next one is Tim, Darren, do you know if we got that on the surrounding in the park?
Yeah, I looked into that today, at the mayor's request, and there's not utilities that is owned by the city of Murphysboro.
Fire chief, this should be,
We had on McCord Clay, we would attack from the street side, not from the alley side anyway. The alley's pretty tight. And then, and it kind of alley anyway, so we would be coming from either Clay or McCord Street, so it's not gonna affect what we do.
yeah. I feel some of this stuff someday is gonna come back to haunt us.
Scott Johnson was the one that came to the office and talked to us. He's here. He's maintained this section for 2 years, as long as he's lived there. 2 years.
This is the green space, right? Yes, green space, basically, the concern that I had was someday I'm going to die. And, that's an alleyway that's on a map that nobody's ever put an alley in, okay? You ride like this, you try to get that out.
Scott, is your house the one on McCord Street or the one on Clay?
McCord. Yeah, I'm the last one there.
Your last house was being recorded in the 23rd.
Beg your pardon?
Between McCord, between 22nd and 23rd.
You go beyond 24th Street, so McCord Street kind of stops
Yeah,
right past 24th.
yeah.
Listen, you're on
down the road.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's what I wanted.
yes.
Again,
So, I make a motion that we make
holding up, we need 8 present and 8 voting in favor of it. The old plats, these are 2 separate plats, like you and Mr. Johnson, and then the they're recorded Clay, they're part of CH Clay subdivision.
I see.
So, this portion is requested to be vacated. If it were to be vacated, it wouldn't go to you, it would stay with the property. So those lots.
Okay.
Now, it could be where it goes to you, but we would need to involve to it. Then it could be done in that fashion, or if they didn't agree to it, if something were arranged where Mr. Johnson paid for it, they didn't want to pay for it, then the city could approve the vacation and that going to Mr. Johnson.
And I follow with those, do you want to do that? So.
I say I did one of those.
Neither one, my son-in-law, the other man says, how, if you want to have that.
I'm completely confused, because how can the city be of an alley that's also, because we have to own it, if we can vacate it, but you're telling me I don't own all of this now?
If the city had I looked at the subdivision plan, I think it was 1907, when CH Clay subdivision was. That gave it ownership years and years ago. So when the street, when the city gets up that dedication, the dedication. So in many of these, we see it going right two different lots. But it's done in that. The lots on this side, that goes to the lots on this side. This is a subdivision where it's the out plat. So if it were vacated,
And Mr. Johnson, what you're saying is you believe you've got it worked out where if we vacated it, and you could, as a private individual, go to those other folks, so we would need to help. Essentially.
I think we ought to maybe move this back to the second meeting in February. And I'll give a chance, everything be done, paperwork, and
Well, we need to make sure we're gonna have enough people here, I guess, too.
we need at least 8 people who would all have to vote. Right.
Okay.
We're gonna do that next meeting. We're gonna do our part of it next meeting, and just vacate it. I mean, that's all we have to do.
Yeah, they would have them deed it.
he has to have his paperwork to record showing that they're letting their property go to him in the alleyway. Because he got time to do that until then.
What kind of paperwork are we talking about?
I can put something together for you.
Well, let's leave it on the agenda, and if we else to roll by it, fine.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all.
public safety chaired by Mr. John Davis, and an old business, and a new business. And public comment on public safety. All right, we'll come out of that and go to personnel. They're going as far as you.
There's no old business and personnel, no new business, and unless any of the employees are. No. I think we can do that.
That takes us to the mayor's report. I don't have anything actually printed here on the mayor's report, but I did want to tell you that I did one of those, ask for forgiveness later things. Yeah, I was at the Logan Jones Memorial Breakfast for the players.
It was very nice.
It was. Well, and that's and the museum started a capital campaign to expand the museum's and more of a formal place where they can have receptions. I think that's right. And so anyway, they passed one of Mike Jones' old hats and raised a bunch of money for the crowd. And I was asked to give sort of a keynote speech and kind of memorialize mine. And in the lead up to that, I was talking to a few people and realized that Elks Lodge was given $1,000, this group was given $500, whatever. And so I committed the city to $1,000.
And he opened his wallet and took the $1,000 out and put it right in. No.
And I took it out of my last account.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, round bills, that's okay.
Yeah, I can just.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, we'll go to council members for questions to you. Mr. Rumsfeld.
Thank you.
Mr. Carlson.
On the meeting, I actually had two, Mayor, and I apologize for the issue team who was on the phone today. Where are we at with 15th Street? And surveys and all that kind of stuff?
Well, what I understand is that as the company that was hammering all those sewers in that area, I don't think they were able to go more than 10 or 15 feet in any direction without just running into a place that couldn't go any further, Harold.
Yeah.
Right?
It's pretty bad, and I think we had given a price on trying to repair that whole area there. I mean, the intersection repair is the least of the problems there, but I think it's going to run into a bigger project that we may have to try to seek some sort of financing for. So we can have those estimates at the next meeting, and yeah, sewage is flowing through the pipes, but their cameras can't get through there, and like Mayor said, I mean, it was 15 feet, 20 feet out of every manhole that we run into that problem, so.
Let's trade those back to our next meeting so we can figure out if it's something we think we can do this year or something we're gonna have to look at, or next year, or whatever we want to do. Good, I'd like to draw it up.
The other thing I had was, and I apologize again, but where we at with the salt shed?
Well, I have lost the ability to communicate with Mr. Spiller. I have attempted, the guy who had said that he will donate the car wash to the city in exchange for them. He had like a few $1,500 liens or something against the property for cleanup. He would vacate those liens that he would give it to us. He said that it was part of some collateral on some bank notes, and that he needed to get that off of those, and then he would be happy to give it to the city. Every time I talk to him, I haven't talked to him probably since 10th, 12th December, and I did attempt to send him a text message, or did send him a text message shortly before the first of the year, and tried to call, and I haven't heard anything back from him. So, we had kind of thought that maybe that would be the place to put it. you know, we're gonna get a salt shed, so I think I'm the holdup there because I've been trying to figure out what's going on with that lot.
Well, my apologies for not talking to you about it today when we was on the phone.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. Hold on there. Okay. Mr. Pittman? Mr. McCall?
I don't know if any of you got your book and read it, it came out, see what it cost. 40% of your call. Pretty hard and everything, and if we do that at the city hall too. It's going to cost us our part, and,
You have that field there directly to the east, I guess, would be the sewer plant where it seemed like, you know, the southern facing panels, be able to catch plenty of sun.
you know, it might even work for the pestle range down there, but it's something I think we need to be looking into. You know, I know we can't wait on to get something started to Lester, because I don't think they're ever gonna do anything.
Well, they have said to me several times, I know that there's the ability to get something done down there because I know that they talked about wanting to.
Okay, one, my brother in their efficiency management program, and that's one of the things he's been doing is going around to school districts and municipalities and doing assessments and stuff, and then for school boards and town boards to discuss that type of stuff. I can put you in contact with him and see if that's something that they can look into for us, because there's money out there available to do some of this stuff, those kind of projects too.
Well, you're going to have work there.
Okay. You know, you said probably the summer night you're gonna we're gonna have to run at 7 or 8 months, and there's a lot of time, Ryan's got some of his house, and in the winter, the cloudy days, it didn't work real well, but, you know, I just think to be looked in, the cost and maybe the money saved, because we pay a pretty hefty price down there every month on electric. And if it works out well, might be worth looking in for the new city hall, you know.
Oh, yeah. I've even seen some of these city hall complexes where they install, like, say, covered parking for police vehicles or whatever, and you cover part of their actual solar panel.
Who do you think we want to look into? You think you agree with
Well,
that?
they would just do an assessment, see, you know, how much you put in and give you an estimate. Your cost savings would be over a certain period of time, that kind of thing, you know, that has been doing a program that they're doing for free, you know, it's a basically free assessment that they're offering, and then, you know, they can let you know what, if there's any programs available. I think it's that they let you know what any programs are available for you as far as funding. Everyone can come in. They would just tell you what the feasibility of having it at a certain location would be, and if there would be any cost savings, and that.
This is not something we can borrow on anything tonight anyway, but we're on the next agenda, or just have somebody look into it and come back to this, you know, price. We do know somebody works for him.
Yeah.
Then not. And we can move forward, move our city forward a little bit in that.
Was it Zach?
That's it.
Okay. We gotta have him get a hold.
That's all.
Mr. Glad?
You were going to that?
Oh, yes, an application. Yes. I wanted to, working with Sandra, you know, how much did we budget for that?
$10,000.
$10,000 for the codification of our ordinances, going through and trying to weed out things that really aren't applicable or don't have state law or whatever. And I had asked Mr. Gladden if he would be willing to sort of lead up that effort, and he has said that he would be willing to do so. I didn't think anybody else on the council would be dying to.
I'm sure you're okay.
Thanks, Don. Yeah. I think that for being willing
He's
to.
already seen the bill on the mango.
I just wanted to point out and thank him for being willing to take that up. I know he'll do a good job helping those efforts and just report back to this office goes along. Thank you, John. Now takes us to the department head requests and motion to adjourn. Ms. Ridley?
Just one thing, in everybody's packet was a flyer for the Key Lake cleanup. They're really needing volunteers this year, so I told them I'd put it in here. Anybody can put it on bulletin boards, if anybody else might be interested. I just told them I'd help pass the word along.
I'll put it on my Facebook.
Okay.
Mr. Evans?
Thank you.
Chief Pratt?
Remember Mike, Jerry Hodge passed away this week, longtime educator here in the district. Remember them, and then you may have seen our Facebook post about Ralph Davies. He was a resident of Virgins, and he just loved our fire department. He called the fire department just nightly for as long as anybody can remember to discuss the daily happenings of the fire department. And it was just his mission to make sure we kept our doors open and stuff like that. He passed away last week. So,
Thank you for remembering those folks. Chief Miller?
nothing, thank you.
Brian?
The complaints about people not getting notified of boil water issues. And I think there's a misconception out there that I want to make you guys aware of, so if you hear that from constituents, you can inform. I verified there was a complaint with 16th Street the other day that people didn't know it was boil water. And when Tim issues one of those, it's done on a map, and only the people that are affected by the boil water order are getting the notices. So some of the reason they didn't know anything about it was because it didn't affect them. So they're signed up for the service, but they're not getting notified. They will only receive that notification when it affects them. Otherwise, they won't get a notice. If somebody's not signed up for code red notifications, they need to be encouraged to do that so that they will get those notifications. But I just want to make sure that everybody, that's what's going on. The notices are being sent out, but it's only going to the people that it affects, not the whole community.
Well, I understand why people are confused because the service initially had, it did go there.
Everybody got it.
And so,
Let me ask you this, is there a way that you can turn on, like, as a user, like to receive all notices?
We all countywide notices them, so the city of we could issue
I know when my grandfather was still alive, my mom handled most of that stuff. When she was signed up for that stuff, he obviously wasn't, he didn't have a cell phone that could have got those notices anyway. If,
you can configure landlines to get a voice notification, so,
that would be.
yeah, so.
I understand, I didn't know if you could be more.
You can sign up for multiple addresses, yeah. Yep. So if there's any questions, reach out to me, I'd be happy to, try to clarify any confusion there.
Yes.
How long do you boil your water when?
Until further notice.
No, he needs how long to do that before
Well,
it
I don't know how many minutes, but like, last week, I think it was, there was one issue, or issue for Kenny Lane.
So,
I don't know, I did not receive it. It's not on your list there, but
You need to go.
we just got our license set for 5 or 6 days, and then we go back to using it again.
Well, typically, we get the repairs made and then get a clear, test result within 2 or 3 days, on average.
the best case scenario is 18 to 24 hours.
We send it notice on it.
It also depends on, if it's on a weekend it's issued, then we're not able to sample until Monday, and then it's 18 to 24 hours from the time that it arrives at the lab.
Did the last court order, and he is signed up, or would he get another, when it was okay for him not to do it again?
One upon
Okay.
issuance.
And that's what issue is.
And the link is on our website, sign up for COVID service, so.
Murphysboro, what
You
it is.
can go to the website.
Anything else, Brian?
That's it, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shepherd,
Have nothing else, Mayor.
Mrs. Ollie,
Nothing, thank you.
the lead.
Some quick, without getting into too much detail, I have an employee going on, Big Mike, he's a great guy. He's been going through a little bit of health problems lately, so you just keep me in your prayers, we're going to get back soon. Also, yesterday morning, someone hit a fire hydrant, something on that. We don't know what it is yet, but apparently it was a long trailer on like a semi or something along those lines. So we're trying to talk to chief, that hydrant's out of service until we get it repaired, and with me being down guy, it's gonna take, things are gonna be stretched out a little bit, so it might be a week or two before we get that repaired.
Okay.
Is there any cameras down there?
We're gonna look at that, but I think everybody's pretty much involved with trying to find out the key.
All right. Strasser,
Nothing.
Classen, Mills.
No.